the dark side of dating apps and the one secret they do not want you to know. Now stay on, because as we move through this, I'm going to reveal how you can game a dating app and how you can actually get what you want. So here's that secret. They never want you to leave their platform. Guaranteed. Let me tell you why. They are a business, and a business is there to make money. Yes, you could say they're there to serve the people, they're there to serve their audience and their demographic and help them win. Yes, and they are a company that want to make money, especially those that are publicly traded. Grindr, Bumble, and there may be a one or two more. Irrespective, they have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders. Now, how are they going to keep you in there? By not letting you win, by not letting you find the person that you're looking for, by manipulating the system, by changing the algorithm, the way it operates, by hooking you, by giving you dopamine highs and then deep lows. And the only way you can get back to those highs is to get back into their system. Now, all dating apps aren't bad and all dating apps aren't there to hurt you per se, but they do have a competing agenda, or they do have a competing value of quarterly returns, of being better year upon year, on being more profitable. And again, the way that they are most profitable is by having members that are using their platform, that are stuck in a cycle of seeking but never quite attaining. Now, over time, that builds a habit and a pattern. Now, it may play on your own self-worth, your low self-worth perhaps, your lack of confidence, your lack of belief in self, that you need this dating app to feel whole or fulfilled, or to find the hope that you're really, really searching for. And that becomes problematic, because now you're stuck in a cycle of how do I get out of this? Now, remember at the beginning, I shared with you, I'm going to help you, I don't want to say game the system, but I'm going to help you really optimize dating apps and using them to your discretion, the way that you want to use them, because they can be a way to meet people. Now, it is also important before we get there to understand some of the functions of a dating app, as we've touched on, but also some of the dangers. Some of the dangers are that it has been proven and shown that not all people on a dating app are actually real people. Some of them are bots. Some of them are manufactured. It's not completely real. Now, why is this a problem? Because it gives you a false sense of what's possible. You have this idea that, oh, there are so many fish in the sea. There are so many out there. If this doesn't work out, I'll just keep looking. I have an abundance, a plethora of people I can choose from. No, you actually don't. And what that does is not allow you to be present when you're in the dating process. Now, I totally understand. People, well, I don't understand everything, but this is what I do understand, that people have different preferences. Not everyone is looking for long-term partnership. Not everyone is looking for someone they can share their life with in a monogamous way, as an example, right? And there are different dating apps that cater to different value sets, different value systems, relationship containers, relationship styles, etc. So you've got to be really clear on what you want. However, these dating apps, they can be insidious in that way. And I want to pause for a second. I'm not saying that dating apps are bad or good. I'm just giving you a pretty strong and firm idea of how they operate and what's actually happening, and what may be appearing to you as, oh, this is a place where I can have my needs met, but they're going to want to keep you in there a little longer because you're paying, and they'll entice you to pay if you're not. So let's go back to, what does it look like to really optimize your time on this dating app? But again, before we go there, bear with me for a moment, because I want to explain this cycle of despair that we often get into. So if we think and believe, as a matter of fact, that there are plenty of fish in the sea, that there are many people to choose from on these dating apps, whether it's across one platform or multiple platforms, but that's not necessarily factually true, you're going to be hooked in to continue to look for flaws and imperfections in the people that you meet, whether it's for a casual encounter, whether it's for something more maybe quote unquote meaningful, long term. Whatever it is, you're going to be quite judgmental, quite picky, quite selective, maybe overly selective. Maybe you're going to start seeing people as boxes to check and tick, because you believe that if they don't tick a box, there's someone out there that will. Now, I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying lower your standards. Definitely not saying that. In fact, part of the remedy to this whole cluster and this challenge of actually connecting with people is being really clear and knowing what your standards are. But we'll get to that. So I'm not asking you to drop your standards. I'm not asking you to compromise yourself, but I am asking you to get really realistic with what you you want, what you're looking for, who you are, and what you're actually willing to take in from the people that you're meeting. Now, it becomes a little easier if you're only looking for a casual encounter. It becomes a little more challenging and you have to be a little more, for lack of a better term, serious or dedicated, committed, discerning. If you're looking for something more long-term where your lives are going to be more entangled. Now, I'm going to do a whole other video, and I have done many, on casual encounters and short-term relationships and relationships where you don't really know the person and you're intermingling your sexual energies. What's really important to know is that these dating apps are going to play you and they're going to keep you in the system for as long as they can so that they can milk you for as much as they can. And now that sounds really bad and it sounds insidious even, and it sounds like they're doing something illegal. No, well, I can't comment on that part, but it's not insidious and it's not bad. They're playing to their highest values. Their highest values are, we are here to make money, and the publicly listed companies are here to satisfy shareholders, and that means quarter over quarter they need to increase their profits, so they will do whatever they can to do so. They have psychologists on board that are looking at behavioral dynamics and how one interacts, how addiction, compulsion is created, what is attractive, what is not. And the point I'm making about the grass being greener is that you will very quickly reject the person that's in front of you if you truly believe there are so many other fish in the sea. And again, we live in a world of abundance. I'm not saying that, but we're not being realistic and we're not balancing, for lack of a better term, our realism with our idealism. We're not balancing what we're actually seeing and what we're confronted with our dreams. And so you've got to run your own race. You've got to lean into what's really true for you by knowing who you are and knowing what you want. And also understanding that these dating apps are a platform. They're a possibility to meet someone that could be aligned with what your desires are and their desires as well. So there's a match that's coming on. But if you believe that because you're told this, there are so many other individuals out there that can meet your needs, when someone is in front of you that actually meets those needs, you may be very quickly to discard of them or be hypercritical because of the culture that these dating apps maintain around churn. So know who you are. Know what you want. Ask for it. Be direct. Be clear. Choose wisely the dating apps that you're on that will match what your needs are. Be persistent, be patient, be observant of yourself, be truthful with yourself, ask for what you want, be open, be conscientious, treat others how you want to be treated. But most importantly, above all, know that dating apps, they're a tool, and use tools wisely. See, again, I've done videos on this where there are key practices to have when on dating apps, and be really deliberate when you're in the practice of scrolling on a dating app or looking for a match. Don't just do it at a stoplight or do it when you're on the toilet or do it when you're walking in the hallway. Dedicate time, treat this as a practice that's sacred and important to you. Even if it's for a casual encounter, be really deliberate and meaningful with how you show up to life and let that come back to you. And again, know that these dating apps are a tool. You wouldn't use a hammer or a drill for every job. Be aware of that. Now, if you're stuck in your love life and you're stuck in your life and you're wanting some support, I've been coaching high performers, high achievers for 25 years. Sound a little old when I say that. If you want some support and you want to go a little deeper and you don't want to keep repeating the same patterns over and over again and asking, why is this happening? Well, I'll tell you why. It's happening because there's a part of you that wants it to happen. You may say, well, I don't want uncomfortable, bad things happening to me. I don't want to keep choosing men or women that are unavailable, or I don't want to keep choosing people that are cheating on me. Well, there's a part of you that wants a belief reinforced about yourself that is attracting and creating circumstances that will reinforce that belief. We've got to make the unconscious conscious, the unknown known. That's where the power is. If you want to access that power within yourself, coachwithsteph.com. The link's here, down below, somewhere here. Check it out. I'll see you on the other side.